Hi, I'm Max Walker&Williams, and today we are having another Hedera Hashgraph update. Let's jump straight into it. So there's been loads going on in the background, some big stuff. Tectonic plates are moving under the ocean floor. We can't necessarily see what's going on all the time, but believe me when I say it is definitely happening and it's massive stuff. So let's get straight, before I get straight into it, I just want to say thank you ever so much to everybody who's been buying the Walker&Williams NFT Partnership Program, NFTs. Been absolutely amazing, can't believe it. You guys actually managed to crash our website, and that is something we were trying to avoid. We were aware of it. It's happened to us before with one of the hotels. We had a competition and so many people came to the website, it crashed. I vowed never again. We've got our own dedicated servers, but so many of you went on to maxwalkerwilliams.co.uk that you actually crashed the site. So I'm so sorry once again. Last time I'm going to apologize for that because it was really slow for a lot of people, very frustrating. But we're past that now and the sales haven't stopped. So we've just been selling. So it's fantastic. Utopian Labs, those poor guys are working flat out 24 hours a day, almost literally. They're probably getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep, literally a night, and they're making some massive upgrades to the website behind the scenes, and then they'll flick a switch. I think a week today, hopefully it's the next Friday, they flick a switch and it'll come online and you'll see loads of different interoperability. You haven't had your NFT yet, don't worry, because from a week today, like I say, next Friday, you're gonna be able to go on the website, get your NFT, it's gonna be pre-minted for you, and it's gonna do some pretty amazing stuff. So the show is gonna be fantastic, and I hope you agree when you see it, that it's definitely worth the wait. Then from next Friday, we're gonna get into all the fun stuff. So from next Friday, a video like this one, if you own one of the Walker&Williams NFT Partnership Program NFTs, you're gonna get this video 24 hours before anyone else. You can comment, like, and so on and so forth. You're also gonna get double entry automatic into all of the competitions that we're doing online at the moment, and we've announced a winner just today for one of the people who was in the spaces, Twitter spaces that I run for the launch to celebrate the launch of the NFT Partnership Program. Okay, so enough about that. It's amazing and I love it and it's great because it's bringing the community together just like I thought it would. But let's get straight into this Hedera Hashgraph update. So the big one, staking. Everyone's talking about it. If you're on the Twitters, look me up at @Walker&Williams. But if you are on Twitter, you'll already know about this because it's like the whole thing's lit up with talk of staking. So the governing council of Hedera Hashgraph voted and they decided to approve permissionless nodes and staking. So it means that people eventually, I think, although it says permissionless nodes, my understanding was that we were going to do it with trusted community members first, and then it was going to be literally anybody, any Tom, Dick or Harry. But permissionless nodes tends to suggest that we're skipping trusted community members and we're going straight to anybody who wants to run one. I don't know yet, either way, that hasn't sort of been firmed up for me. We don't know, the rules are not known yet, rules not yet known. When I say rules, I really mean requirements. So how many HBAR do you need in order to run a node? I don't know yet, nobody knows, it hasn't been announced. What's the yield / return reward going to be? We don't know. Been a lot of speculation. I ran a thing on Twitter, a poll on Twitter, and a lot of people were hoping for 20%, but I think that's very, very ambitious. I think we need to sort of limit expectations, and I'd be happy with 5%, 10% would be perfect, bang on, fantastic, because it'd be nice to be beating inflation. But you have to remember something, both about the staking reward and inflation, is that if you're a HBARbarian, up until now, you've been holding Hedera Hashgraph's HBAR with no staking, with zero return, and been quite happy to do so, I would imagine, because if you're not, you would have sold them. So if you're willing to hold HBAR because you believe in the project and because you think that the price is going to do something in the future, then anything above 0%, which is what we're getting right now, and you intend to hold longer term, certainly for the short term, the medium term, then what's the problem? 1%, 2% is better than no percent. So anything above 0%, which is what we're all happy to hold at, is a bonus. So we can't, it's a really kind of like a no-lose situation. 10%, wow, would be absolutely fantastic. So that's going to be really exciting. And don't worry, by the way, if what I believe is going to happen, and what I'm certainly going to try and do myself, is that we're going to have community nodes. So if it takes, for example, just picking numbers out of the air, if it takes 10 million HBAR to run a node, then I'd like to think that I'd be able to facilitate that. And then if you want to stake on the node, you can do, which basically means you put your HBAR in and you get a return too, relative to the amount you put in. So you don't need the full 10 million in order to be involved. And there are companies doing that. So Starda is one. StardaLabs.com is the website if you want to have a look. I'll put a link to them into the description below. I'll put links to all of this. I don't want to keep repeating myself, boring you. Anything, my Twitter handle, anything I mention in here today, the links are in the description below. So just look below, click a link if you want to see more, but please do it after the video so you get to hear everything. Okay, StardaLabs.com, staking. So these guys, a little bit about them, a little bit of background. They're currently staking Luna. They're offering 10.56% per annum APR, so that's pretty good, that's cool. They've currently staked $714 million. It's probably gone up a little bit. I looked at that this morning when I wrote the board, and I've gone out for the day, so it was building. So 714 million so far. And then they say coming soon, Phantom, Solana, ETH 2.0, Cosmos, Near Project, they're all coming soon, apparently. Now I've put apparently because ETH2, I mean coming soon, really? Their sort of idea of soon and my idea of soon are pretty different. I'm not having a go, I'm just saying, like, you know, these are coming soon. Solana has been crashing recently more than a crash test dummy. Phantom, obviously, I think everybody left and turned the lights off on the way out. So I'm not sure, I'm being a little bit facetious, obviously, just for comic effect, but you get my point. They say coming soon, but I mean, what have we agreed with E2 being that the project's not even live yet? So Hedera, by the way, interestingly, isn't in the coming soon section. So I don't know if that's because it's been literally just been announced that we're going to be staking and you can do it with these guys and they haven't had a chance to update the website, or if we're going to skip coming soon, like we have done with these maybe, and go straight to actually staking. So either way, I think it's fantastic. They seem like a great company, and you know, I'm watching this carefully, and I think it's fantastic. It's, by the way, not their fault that obviously ETH2 is just not been coming, and so on and so forth with Solana and Phantom. Okay, DeFi. So this is a big one. This is what, when I said at the beginning about the tectonic plates under the sea, this is what I was kind of referring to. DeFi. What is DeFi? It's decentralized finance. So the DE is decentralized, FI for finance, decentralized finance. Think big banks, think pension funds, financial institutions, and brokerage firms. They're all waking up finally to the power of decentralized finance. So what is decentralized finance? DeFi equals buying, selling, sending crypto, buying, selling, sending fiat, anything to do with transacting and moving value digitally, across the internet. NFTs, insurance, contracts, anything with any value. By the way, insurance is a massive case, and I'll come back to that in a second. So they're all waking up to the power of DeFi. Big positive news for HBAR. Why? Because like the video I did about why is Hedera Hashgraph 20 cent and Ethereum is $3,000, and that whole thing about use cases, and you've got a tiny little pool of people that are actually using cryptographic technology, and they're the people who own a HBAR and Hedera and projects like Hedera. Quant would be another great example. Did a video on that recently, link below. Now, these guys either understand and can foresee what the technology is going to do. It's got use case. It's again, when I talked about the future of crypto, when the big crash comes, all the nonsense coins will fall away. And anyone with any utility and use case will survive. People are either using it and can actually see and go, actually, I've been trying to sell my art on Ethereum, but it costs so much to mint one NFT, to create an NFT for one picture. And the gas fees are so astronomical, it's ridiculous. So they've either experienced it, and that's why they're on Hedera Hashgraph and HBAR, or they can foresee it and they get it and they understand it. They're not actually using it, but they understand the concept. So that's why they're with Hedera Hashgraph and HBAR. And that little circle that I talked about in that video is about to get a whole lot bigger. Why? Because these behemoths, financial institutions, brokerage firms, pension funds, and insurance companies are all understand the use case, go to market, Ethereum, no. XRP, no. ADA, no. Now I know saying that, I'm not having a go at these projects in particular or picking on them, but why have I done those? Ethereum, it's mental, the gas fees, killing the planet, it's nonsense. It's only a couple of steps above Bitcoin. XRP, fantastic project, big believer in it, but it's undeniable that they're in a lawsuit, and what pension fund, what bank, what is going to touch them when they're in the middle of being sued by the SEC? ADA, again, hasn't got the tech, hasn't got the thing to stand up. HBAR, big green tick. So that's small use case. The people who've actually bought the tickets and been to the festival, those guys are going to land in one place, I believe. Well, one of a few places, and this is the leader in that is HBAR. So I think we're going to see a lot more transactions per second, a lot more use cases, and it's all going to be because of this. So the more and more, the better apps get, the better the technology get, the better the software get, the better the awareness comes, the more people learn about it, and the more mature the industry becomes, the harder it becomes for joke coins and meme coins to survive, and it just gets boring and everyone moves on. And the easier and more value projects like Hedera have, because you've got serious behemoth players, AIG insurance company, massive. They've got so much money that this is true, they have so much money, cash in the bank, that they literally don't know what to spend it on. So they've just started building tower blocks in Manchester city centre, other cities in the UK too, but they are literally just building 1,000 apartment tower blocks, skyscrapers in Manchester, and renting the apartments out. Because they have to spend this money somehow, because if they leave it in the account, it's just gonna get eaten away by inflation. If you don't understand inflation, guess what? Done a video on that too, link in the description below. So what a nice problem to have. It's a serious problem, but a nice problem to have. If you've got so much, you've got £100 million in the account, you go to bed, you wake up in the morning, and now you've got £110 million. It's a nightmare. You've got it, and it's being devalued by inflation. It's pouring away like sand in your fingers. So you've got to spend on something that's going to beat inflation and hold value. What do? You start building tower blocks. These guys, behemoths like these, are moving into Hedera Hashgraph through the use case when they go to the market, and that is happening starting right now. And every day, time is on our side, because every day the use cases, the knowledge and everything else is being adopted for HBAR. There are a lot of people who don't know about it still, and that's all positive. Whereas everyone, unless you've been living in a cave, everyone knows that Elon Musk likes doggy coin. Okay, so that's a really big one, and we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to do more updates on that. It's kind of a bit boring, brokerage firms, big sort of grey suits, I get that, but the effect of what these guys are doing is going to be anything but boring, believe me. Okay, over here, let's swap over, never turn you back on the camera. Smart Contract 2.0 goes live on the mainnet. So if you head over to Hedera's website, it's actually on their homepage, it's their big news. I think they only announced this about a week or two ago. And this is really important and ties in quite nicely with this news, and it's another tectonic plate. It's something that isn't particularly cool, it's not sexy, it's not The Rock, Dwayne Johnson on Twitter saying, I'm minting pictures of myself on Solana. It isn't that, and I get that, but it's massive, and it's another massive thing that nobody really appreciates. Very few people understand the importance, but trust me when I say, this is something massive being built under the ocean floor. Smart Contracts 2.0. Now I have gone into this, it's only a small bit on my board today, but I have done an entire other video about smart contracts and about the importance of EVM. If you want to see that video, just click the link in the description below. It's really interesting, and I highly recommend you do, to have a better understanding of why I believe you should believe in Hedera Hashgraph. So EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, operating on Solidity. 30% of Web 3.0 developers work in Solidity and talk Solidity, which is a software language. Just think of it as like a French or Italian, or it's English, and 30% of the world speak English. So 30% of web developers, Web 3.0 developers, and people building dApps, which is decentralized apps like map apps or like a dating app or whatever. But instead of building it on software, they're building it on Hedera Hashgraph, for example. All these guys, 30% of the guys in the world speak Solidity, and it just means that Ethereum, so if you've built something on Ethereum with a few clicks, bit of an exaggeration, but with a few clicks of a mouse, you can switch from CryptoKitties, from Ethereum, crazy gas fees, killing the planet, cancel culture, don't use this, endorse this celebrity, this brand, this company, because they say one thing about how they're saving the planet, and then they go and do something on Ethereum, and it's killing the planet. So, ETH, crazy fees, slow, killing planet. Oh yeah, I'm going to get to that in a second. So this makes the transition from other platforms that are forked on Ethereum or Ethereum themselves to come over onto Hedera Hashgraph. So anyone who finds out about this a little bit late can then still join the party with very little transition pain. And that's really, really important for developers, which is really important for the network and how it's used and so on and so forth. So it's all positive stuff. This little point here, just worth noting, if you've never seen any of my other videos before and you're not entirely sure exactly the difference, like what are we talking about? How big a deal? Putting aside the planet for 1 second and the environmental stuff, just talk to me about speed. I don't care about the planet. I just want to know practicalities. Give me practicals, Max. Okay. ETH says on their own website, if you go on the Ethereum website, they say on their own website, they aim to have a transaction speeds of 15 million gas per block. I'm not going to bore you with all the tech stuff, boring. I kind of touched on it, but in previous videos. So basically what they're saying there is what they're aiming for, this is their dream now, this is not what they're achieving right now, what they're aiming for, their dream is to be able to fill a block with transactions 15 million gas, and that would take between 12 and 14 seconds. That's the dream, fingers crossed. So we're going to do 15 million transactions in 12 to 14 seconds, we hope one day. By the way, it's currently 50 million transactions on Ethereum, is currently anywhere between a minute and 4.5 minutes. Hedera is currently doing 15 million gas per second. So 4 to 5 minutes, dream of 15 seconds, Hedera Hashgraph, 15 million, 1 second already. We're there now. So it kind of gives you an idea of why, as a developer, you might want to use this incredible tech to move over this bridge, to move over to this incredible tech. Okay, the HBAR Foundation. Now these guys have been busy, real busy. So they're supporting Hedera 2022 Hackathon with $500,000, not HBAR, $500,000 in prize money. And now, so what is a hackathon? Again, it's something I've touched on before, but effectively, don't think hackers, don't think anonymous, it's none of that. It's literally just people who are building apps, it's developers again, people who are building apps, people who are creating websites, software, NFTs, Walker&Williams partnership program, Utopian Labs, my company. Guys like that who are working hard and building on the network. There's a competition and judges judge how cool, how effective, how fast, how well designed, user-friendly, and all these different kind of facets of the tech. There's judges, and it runs from the 31st of March to May 16th this year, and there's prizes for some of the best people and some of the best tech in the space. Prizes totaling $500,000. So really worth, if you're a developer and you've got some talent and you've got some skills and you want to show off and you also want to bet, not just pennies, but you want to win some serious money, then I highly recommend you have a look at the foundation's website, link below, or just Google search the hackathon for Hedera Hashgraph Hackathon, and you'll see a link there where you can enter, submit your work, enter, and good luck to you. If you have a look on Twitter's at Don, not sure how to pronounce his surname, so I'm not really going to try. I've not written this very well, so again, link below, but to spell it out, DON_THIBEAU. Delta Oscar November _Tango Hotel Indigo Bravo Echo Alpha Uniform. Little tip for you, if you are a developer, want to help you guys out, here's one of the sitting judges on the panel. Now, I'm not saying that you go onto Twitter, laugh at all of his jokes, like all of his stuff, but who knows, could help. Okay, now, the other thing the HBAR Foundation is doing, they've announced the Sustainable Impact Fund, or SIF. So if you see SIF anywhere with the Hedera HBAR Foundation, SIF, that's what it means. It means Sustainable Impact Fund. They have set aside $100 million $100 million. I realized I sounded a little bit like Dr. Evil when I said that then. $100 million to help solve climate crisis. Now, the reason I've underlined solve is because I thought that was a really apt word, because most people say we're looking to address or, towards the climate crisis. But to solve, so they're not just spending money on trying to make things better, i.e. putting an ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. What they're actually doing is trying to come up with solutions to prevent the damage or put a fence at the top of the cliff. So much better to have a fence at the top, stop people falling off, than to have an ambulance on standby at the bottom to help people who do fall. So I think that's a really, really important point there. This $100 million is to help solve the climate crisis, which is not tackle. That's the one they use, tackle. People say, we're donating $100 million to tackle the climate crisis. Does that mean cleaning up stuff after it's happened? Does that mean carbon offsetting? We'll get to that in a second. What does tackle mean? Solve the climate crisis is pretty clear, and I think what a fantastic endeavor. So here we go, trust layer of carbon credits. So you may have, if you follow me quite closely, you'll hear me sometimes talk about carbon credits and I kind of quaff. And the reason I do that is because I think I know, most of the market is a scam. And I mean absolutely no disrespect to the guys who are honest, because of course there are lots of guys and girls who are honest in the carbon credit market. But there are far more, in my opinion and my personal experience, of guys and girls that are looking to scam people. It's disgusting because massive companies who are using energy and are in some way, small or large, hurting the environment, undeniable, they're paying to offset that damage to companies who then take that money and steal it effectively, and that it's doing no good. So it's killing the planet, it's killing future generations, and this is a super, super important thing. It's not to be understated. If you breathe air and live on planet Earth, this is important. And it's really, I'm so glad to have read this today. It really honestly warm my heart. And the reason being is because there are people in countries that are being taken advantage of. So basically, if you don't know what carbon offsetting is, it's effectively saying, the government's saying to big companies and small companies, your carbon footprint is the X, so you create this much carbon, so you therefore have to buy 20 trees, which will eat up that much carbon so that you are then carbon negative. It's an easy way for some large companies to get out of their responsibilities, just chuck some money at the problem and it kind of solves it. And it's also conscious companies too who are sincere and want to make a difference, haven't even been told to do it, but they say, look, we're creating this much carbon. Let's actually, for every transaction, for everything we do, for every car we create, whatever it may be, we're going to plant trees in the Amazon, and that's going to offset the damage that we're doing over here. It's pretty controversial, but when done properly, it is done right, and it's fantastic and it's a great thing. Now, obviously, where there's money and opportunity, there are bad players. And what's been happening is that people who are undereducated have been taken advantage of in third world countries. And these companies in first world countries are buying plots of land, and then they're planting the trees on the land. And in the best cases, in some cases, they don't even own the plot. There are no trees, it's all CGIs and stuff. But in some cases, they're buying these plots of land off these farmers. They're paying the farmers buttons to plant these trees, and then they're selling the trees 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times over. So the farmer is basically selling his land or renting his land for £10, and rather than selling that land for £12 and then paying the farmer for another piece of land and another piece of land and another piece of land and spreading the wealth as well as planting all these extra trees, these bad people are buying an acre of land or renting an acre of land for £10. And then they're selling it 6 times to 6 different companies, and they're making £100. So that's 9 times less trees being planted, and also the farmer's obviously selling his land, sincerely for 10, and then rather than turning around and making a profit of 20%, the person in the middle is making a profit of 1,000%, 10,000%. A lot of organised crime involved in this industry, so all bad things. And on top of that, at what cost? Well, the cost of the earth that we live on. So. And the companies are none the wiser, of course. Some of them aren't asking questions and aren't looking, to be fair, but some are genuinely having the wool pulled over their eyes. The Sustainable Impact Fund, part of this money is going to go to creating a trust layer of carbon credits. And I'm guessing, I don't know, but it'll be some sort of endorsement program that's tracked on the Hashcraft that says, if you plant a tree and it has this stamp of approval on it, like the rainforest stamp, then you can go on the website and you can track it and you can check it and you can make sure it hasn't been sold to anyone else, a bit with an NFT, for example. And I think that's such a fantastic thing for two reasons. One, because any of the genuine players in the market who are genuinely looking, sincerely looking to offset their carbon credits can make sure that that is actually happening. And also because it means that it takes away the profit from the abusers and from the organized crime, and it helps the farmers plant more trees. So it's a win for all around, unless you're a bad guy or girl. It's a win all around. So I think it's a really great thing. Okay, so just to round up, we have this little extra bubble here. What's in the bubble? So just a couple of other bits of newsworthy bits is that A.R. Rahman, who is, wow, what a guy. I don't know if you've heard of this guy. One of, if not the biggest deals in the music and film industries in India. But he isn't just in Bollywood, he's also in Hollywood. I'll get to that in a second. So he has got 24 million Twitter followers. I can only dream. He was in the top 100 most influential people on planet Earth in 2009 by Times Magazine. He has a personal net worth of $280 million. So he's not skint, he's got a few quid. So he is a songwriter, he is a performer, a singer, a music producer, a film producer, an actor. He's the full thing. He's the real deal. He's the whole package. Fantastic guy. And if you look at his stuff on Twitter, pretty cool as well to boot. And he's got a lovely head of hair. So he's got everything going for him. Good luck to him. I'm not jealous at all. So he's got all that's going on. Why do we care? What's this got to do with Hedera? He's just announced that he's going to be building an NFT music platform for other singer-songwriters to create their stuff and get it out there to the public and hopefully make some money from it. And he's doing that on Hedera Hashgraph. So we've got a governing council member, obviously, in India, which I spent a long time talking about. So there's a lot of things happening in India, and India's a big market, not one to be ignored. Billion people, circa a billion people, and a lot of them have got a lot of money, and so they're a maturing market. They're coming of age, and who knows? They could be the next world superpower. China, India, all those guys are coming up, and they're very technologically minded and forward thinking. And one of the biggest players in that space, one of the biggest influencers in that space, is building on Hedera Hashgraph. So really, really big. Definitely want to watch. Have a look at that. And again, his Twitter handle's there. I'll put it in the link below if you are on Twitters and you want to have a look. So H. So this is quite Twitter intent. It's like an endorsement of Twitter, but sorry about that. I didn't realize until I was filming it now. So this H here, it's a symbol. It doesn't really matter. It's got nothing to do with cryptocurrency. However, Elon, Musk, and a few. So this white point here is just making note of the fact that Elon Musk tweeted a symbol, the letter H, that looks like this, and this could be one of two things. Oh, I mean, it could be one of a few things, but the two main ones are, it's one of the symbols, less used symbols for Hedera Hashgraph, but it's also the symbol for Planck's constant. So Planck's constant in physics basically says, it's a very, very, very important constant, and it basically says that a photon's energy is the same as its frequency when multiplied by this constant. Or, and maybe that's all Elon was making reference to, out of context completely, or maybe he's having a conversation with someone, out of context to most of us anyway. But yeah, he tweeted this. Or is it just letting the world know that he's doing something with Hedera Hashgraph? Because sometimes he does like to play games and he's pretty cryptic. So it could quite possibly be Hedera Hashgraph. And there is a lot of rumors about Elon, SpaceX, and Hedera Hashgraph. Or it could just be that he was making reference to the constant. One thing I would say though, I don't know if it's just because, like when you buy a red Ford and then you start noticing Fords all over the place, I don't know if it's because of that, but I have noticed this symbol has been added recently to other influential people, senators and so on in America, influencers, crypto guys and girls in their descriptions, and some of them have just tweeted it with a thumbs up, emojis and that sort of thing. So there's definitely something going on. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something going on there worth noting. Thank you very much to Olivia Walker&Williams for these beautiful love hearts. My NFT project is going great, thank you. So as I said at the beginning, thank you so much to everybody for all your kind support and buying these NFTs. It's been overwhelming, it genuinely has. It means so much to my family and I. And yeah, so Olivia thought she'd put some little hearts on there as a big thank you to everybody. Last little roundup bits, what are we doing? So Utopian Lab's going great guns. We've got that announcement. I know it's been delayed, announcing what I can't talk about, but we're so close. I'm in London next Wednesday, and hopefully we'll sign the deal, and then we can announce to the world what it is exactly. I was so excited about just before Christmas in London with Utopian Labs. Massive news for Hedera Hashgraph. Huge, massive, world-changing, life-changing news for me personally and my family and the wonderful guys at Utopian Lab. The NFTs are going great. I've got some more videos coming up very shortly. We're going to do a revisit on Quant versus HBAR. That's going to be a really interesting one. Tune in for that. And I think that's about it at the moment. We've got the competitions. Once we get, a week Friday, we're going to be minting the NFTs. And also, once we switch on the version 2.0 of the maxwalker.williams.co.uk website, you're going to see a barometer on there. And that's important because it tells you how many is the percentage of the NFTs have sold. And the reason that's an important number is because if you own one of those NFTs, you know when we get to 10%, as promised, we're going to be giving away the first HBAR 2 Moon signed coin. It's signed by Mance and by Lehman themselves. It was signed when I went to Texas to interview them, and we're going to be giving that away. The identical, so there's two of them, and the other one sold at auction for circa $55,000. So it's sold charity auction, that one. This one, which we can only assume is worth exactly the same because they are exactly the same. You get an NFT of it as well, I should mention that. And we're going to be giving that away once we get to that 10%. So don't forget that. And the other thing, we're going to do a 100,000 HBAR giveaway treasure hunt. So we're going to be doing both of those very, very cool things when we hit that 10% mark. So a week today, check back next Friday, check back on the website. If you're invested in the NFT project, check that barometer. Once we hit that 10%, the fun and games will start. As always, thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you soon.